It's Week 7 of the National Football League, and we'll see the dynamic Michael Penix Jr. He comes in third in the league in passing touchdowns. It's the Falcons and the Hawks, and it's all up next.
We are pleased, as always, to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gordon along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They come in losers of 2 straight, so they're trying to right the ship here a little bit.
They're teetering a little bit, aren't they? And now things could really go south if they lose this game, so they understand the importance of playing well and stopping this streak.
Meanwhile, for our visitors, the Seahawks, they come into this one knowing it's been a while since tasting victory. They've dropped 4 in a row.
Can they remember what it was like to win a game? In these types of situations, you're looking for someone to inspire.
Getting toward the halfway point of the NFL season, Week 7 is underway on EA Sports. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Seahawks set to go on offense here, and it is the Pro Bowler Geno Smith at quarterback, Charles, in his 12th NFL season.
He had the numbers of a game last week that if you win, you talk about him being a gritty guy, managing the game, getting it done. But they lost. So obviously 2 interceptions, 1 touchdown pass, that's not going to be good enough. Got to get that changed around.
And they'll start on the ground with Charbonnet. He had to fight that time. Ran through 1 tackle, but ultimately he's only going to get back to the line of scrimmage. And here, Charles, is a look at the inactive, some of the guys that are out today due to injury.
Yeah, and this is where the preseason work comes into play for some of those backups. It's not just them getting some experience on the field, but preparing each week in practice as if they were going to play. And when you have guys like that on your team, you've got a chance for success when the injury bug hits.
So they'll wind up losing 5 yards on the play, and they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. From the gun, here's Smith. Open man, that's Noah Fant, the tight end. And he's going to be out of bounds right at midfield. Boy, a nice play there as they wind up converting on 3rd and 15.
For many teams, the evaluation of tight ends has really changed. We used to wonder about how they would block first and foremost. Now we want to know how these guys can run, because we envision them in offenses catch the ball. How much yardage can they gain after that?
And that on display there for a good pickup. Smith and Jigba in motion right. And he'll get it here on the touch pass. A great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. He was unable to shake free there, and they'll cover him for a loss of a yard. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Now a play fake, and it's Smith. He'll get that to Charbonnet. They'll give him 4 yards there. And now 3rd down and 6 to go. It's safe to say the passing game has found a rhythm. He's now 4 of 4, but might need to be 5 of 5 to keep this drive going here as they face a 3rd down.
And maybe perhaps you show a running play, right? Maybe a little play action here to go ahead and let him throw the ball downfield. I wouldn't get away from him flinging it, because 4 for 4 already, I think he's got a good chance of picking this one up here on 3rd down. What a drive this has been, just chewing up the yardage, and here's one of their best plays yet as they finally get down into the red zone and look to finish this off with 6.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Off of play action, here's Smith. Smith and Jigba with a grab. And able to get this down inside the 15, either the 13 or 14 before he's out of bounds. Here's 2nd and 3. Throwing again is Smith. And it's caught. And the Seahawks are going to be set up with a 1st and goal on a pass play that moves them all the way down to the 1. 1st and goal, a chance for an early statement here on the road. Charbonnet will score. Touchdown, Seattle. Well, they move the ball down the field through the air, Charles, and then finally they get the running game involved, and it works to perfection. Touchdown.
And, partner, I kept waiting for that running game to come into play, and they actually saved it until the very end. Touchdown goes on his stat sheet, but you and I both know, and he knows as well, his teammates airing it out made this a successful drive.
Jason Myers now for the extra point. He hasn't missed an extra point all season, and he won't miss this one either, and it's 7-0. A good drive that time as they go 9 plays in all. And the Seahawks capping it off with a touchdown. The lane opens here. He's past the 30. So here are the Falcons now as they get set for their opening possession. They'll be led out by their quarterback, the rookie from the University of Washington.
And it's almost without argument that the biggest surprise of the first round, I would dare say the draft, Michael Penix's selection by Atlanta at number 8 overall. A quarterback was in place in Kirk Cousins, but let's face it, the Falcons knew what they were talking about because here's Penix as their QB1 this year, and they expect him to be for the future.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. That sack, it goes to Boye Mafe.
And so much for that great field position to start the game. Now they're way behind the sticks. Can't wait to see what their second down call is going to look like now.
That huge loss on the sack makes this job much more difficult. It's now 2nd down and 22 yards to go. Now Penix. Over the middle, that's caught by McLeod. 2 yards on the pickup there. And they're going to be staring at a 3rd and long here. Here's Penix. Able to find the open man. That's complete. And out across midfield down to the 45. 3rd and 19, no problem, as they're able to convert.
There's no doubt in my mind that not many guys in this league have had the impact that he's had here in the first half of the season. He's been a big play guy from the word go and continues to be one with another one right there.
So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll go play action here with Penix. He's got this to Algier. And this winds up a gain of 4 to the 41. From the 41, here's a 2nd down and 6. A play fake. Now Penix. Looking right side, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Reek Woolen. And the Seahawks will have solid field position here as they take over at their 45-yard line. They brought the house that time on the young rookie, maybe a little rattled through the pick.
And you have to be prepared for a lot of pressure as a rookie quarterback because most defensive coordinators are going to test you that way. So when you see that, the ball's got to get out of your hands quickly, and that means your receivers have to understand they have to break off their routes quickly as well.
The Seahawks offense and DK Metcalf getting ready to go back to work. And he's been a consistent force offensively all season, currently ranked amongst the best in the NFL in terms of receiving touchdowns. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. They'll start following the interception in great field position at the 45. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Play action. It's Smith. He's going to find his running back. It's complete. They'll wind up getting just a yard out of it. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. They'll come to the line here needing 9 yards to pick up the first. From the gun on 3rd down, Smith. Throwing left sideline there, but it's incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3-and-out and giving the ball back to their offense.
And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. Not an ideal way to end their previous drive. They threw the interception, Charles, after they had built up some momentum. They were moving the football, but something to at least build on for this offense as they run back out here.
Yeah, you're right about that. Up until that last play, everything was working pretty well for this offense, gaining chunks of yardage, getting first downs, really making a push for the end zone, and looked like they had a nice rhythm going. Now you got to have a short memory here. Don't focus on the interception. Focus on what came before it and get back to it.
They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the first down. They'll throw with Penix. And he'll just toss it away. So he throws it away, and that brings up fourth down.
That certainly looks like nothing to show now from these first 2 possessions. And guess what? When you're on a losing streak, that can lead to a full sense of, here we go again. So on the sidelines, the offensive play callers, quarterback, they've got to get together and dial something up to start their next drive. Otherwise, it could be a long game.
So here are the Seahawks ready to take over on offense. They've dropped 4 straight games coming into this one, remember, but they have the lead here. On 1st and 10, it's Charbonnet. And shutting him off, now open field. And he's got this down to the 35. It's a gain of 15, first down Seahawks.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
Now Geno. He finds Smith and Jigba. And all the way inside the 15 before they drop him. It's another first down as this time they get an even 20.
And it's a real luxury when you have a guy who can turn a short throw into a solid gain at any moment. Once he caught that ball, he ID'd where the open grass was and got there in a hurry to pick up a new set of downs for his offense.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on first down. Out of the gun, a give to Charbonnet. And now they're inside the 10 as he's brought down at the 9. It's a 6-yard pickup, but it gets him to 2nd and 4.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
This is a 2nd and 4, ball at the 9. A 5-yard gain, and now they're set up 1st and goal. Looked like a pretty smart decision that time to keep the football by the quarterback.
It was, because you saw how the runner got swarmed. So you got to pull the ball from his arms, keep it yourself, and get what you can. And the most underrated player on this play.
And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown. A great play there, with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Seahawks are off to a 13-0 first quarter lead. Well, that's just how they drew it up, CD. His first read was there, got it to him quickly, and into the end zone.
Absolutely excellent execution by all involved. And the coordinator, got to give him credit, found the perfect play call. Quarterback let it fly as soon as the target came free, and his guy made a nice catch. Just how you draw it up in practice and then execute it in the game.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here right at the 30-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. They start on the ground with Robinson here. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The numbers in last week's bowl game for Robinson: 25 carries, 122 yards.
Just an excellent performance from them on the ground last week, and that speaks to an offense that is operating at a high level on all fronts. Of course, that man running the ball, he's just seeing the field so well. But don't forget about his offensive line. They've really asserted their will out there and are confident they can repeat it again this week.
14 yards there and a Falcon first down. $14-0 the score. This is the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Atlanta, second quarter action. The Falcons with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. To the air, Penix. This one hauled in, and again it's Robinson. And they went the wrong way there, losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there of those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the first. Looking to throw, Penix. And incomplete. He had nowhere to throw, so he just tossed it away. But that brings up 4th.
Not many boos just yet from this home crowd, but they may be starting soon as I'm starting to detect an uneasy murmur through this crowd. This offense, they've been lifeless in this first half. And now here's another punting situation and a 4th down.
And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Now the ball now going back over to the Seattle Seahawks offense. It's been a good first half so far. They're up 14-0. Points here, they could really put them in command before intermission.
Yeah, and it's all well and good what they're seeing and how they're feeling right now. But this is the NFL. How many times have we watched 14-0 leads evaporate and quickly? So how have we seen them combat it? Continue to run your offense, but don't back off at all. Don't start looking at the clock. Don't start thinking about, hey, just take care of the football. Keep attacking. Usually the best way to maintain control.
From the gun, here's a handoff to Charbonnet. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss. And now it's 3rd down. Going to need a crafty play call here. 14 yards is what they need to try to convert this thing. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Back to the sideline, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Jesse Bates. So really the first speed bump that this offense has encountered. They've had the rule of the roost here in this first half, but now slowed up just a bit by the interception.
And there's a chance that that's a wake-up call for them because you don't want to go on autopilot too early. That team on defense is capable of making some plays similar to the one they made right there.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And they'll start with great field position, trying to get back into this one. It's 1st and 10 here. And looking to throw, Penix. That's complete to the tight end, Warner. And finally down he goes as they work it inside the 10 to the 7. A good pickup there, 21 yards. 1st and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Penix working out of the gun here. And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much.
I think you put just a little bit too much heat on that one. When you throw it to the outside, you do have to be careful because you got to keep it away from the defender, but you also have to give your own guy a chance too.
And he just chucked that one out of bounds, out of everyone's reach. Maybe a wise call not to take a sack in this part of the field. It brings up 3rd down. They'll try and throw. Here's Penix. And down he goes. Pressure gets him back at the 14. A nightmare on 3rd and goal. He sacked, and multiple players broke through the line to get him. These sacks now, they're starting to pile up, Charles. And that front 7 defensively, they've had their way with this offensive line.
And I think at this stage, we have to start thinking about different play calls. We've got to start helping this quarterback out because the entire game he's been under siege. I don't care what the down and distance. They've got to get the ball in his hands a lot quicker.
So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll begin here with a run with Charbonnet. And they're going to stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Just no cutback lane to be found whatsoever. 2nd and 10.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
And this may be a carbon copy as he'll again be stopped right at the line of scrimmage. 2 runs for a net gain of nothing. Now here's 3rd and 10. Throwing now is Geno. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Justin Simmons. And he'll return it to the 24-yard line.
And I think this is a situation where quarterback coach in the sideline is going to talk to a signal caller and say, listen, it's 3rd and long, and it's still early in the game. Let's not force things here. If we don't feel good about it, let's just check something down and punt the football.
So out come the Falcons now. Their drive last time, it stalled out. They were forced to take the short field goal.
And the key phrase, you nailed it, forced to, because you know coaches look at these short field goals as a last resort, right? To them, that's not how drives are supposed to end. You're supposed to put 6 on the board. That's a consolation prize. Like going to the county fair, you don't get the big stuffed animal on that one, do you?
No, you don't go top shelf. That's bottom shelf material. Here now, 2nd and 4. They're going to look to throw. Throw left side, complete to McLeod. Second catch for him today, and it'll wind up a first down. Toss play to Robinson. And there is nowhere for him to cut back as he's taken down in the backfield. That's Kobe Bryant, who was there to stop him for a loss. So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. They'll look to throw here. That's out wide here for Robinson. And he'll get it here to the 10-yard line. So just 3 yards on the completion there. And that's going to set up a tough 3rd and 9. From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Jaron Reed muscles his way in for the sack. So that now 4 first-half sacks. This pass rush has been unrelenting.
And, partner, you hear that sound of paper being ripped to shreds? That's the game plan that they've had so far because they've got to say to themselves right now, we have to do something differently.
Patterson's kick is good. And a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So they get the turnover in plus territory. The drive stalls out, but still able to get 3 out of that.
Yeah, we were able to see an offense and a defense kind of mix and match with each other, didn't we? Both of them trying to make sure that they have the upper hand and the advantage. Offense trying to get to the end zone. Defense, of course, trying to hold them to a field goal attempt. And it wasn't a guaranteed lock 3 from where they started. So, you know, the offense has to be happy to come away with those 3 points.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it. Ball on the 30 now. Here's a 2nd and 8. Out of the gun, Smith. Left side complete to Lockett. They'll wind up getting 7 on the play, and that'll leave them with a 3rd and 2. They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. They'll fake the handoff. Now Smith. And that is incomplete.
How about some applause for the defense there? They forced him to throw that one into coverage, and just like that, they're staring at a 4th down. Well done.
On 4th down, ready to punt, Michael Dixon. Fair catch called for and made at the 16 or maybe the 17-yard line. So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Falcons will be taking over 1st and 10. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. Open man is Kyle Pitts, his tight end. And he'll get this up to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Play fake, and they'll throw with Penix. It's caught on the right side by Robinson. And he goes out right around the 39. Ball on the 39. Here's 2nd and a yard. Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And the ball is knocked out. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, and that could have been trouble.
All I can say about this play is that someone's living right. I mean, he's trying to gain yardage, trying to get upfield. Ball comes free. What's that panic that we've talked about oftentimes that you feel when you lose the ball?
You can sense it.
Oh, you can sense it. And somehow he got to it and was able to recover it for his squad.
And he pushes through a would-be tackler to get about 3 yards. 2nd down. 2nd and 7. Now Penix. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he'll wind up getting about 6 out of that, as that's going to lead us to the 2-minute warning. Here's Penix. Here's a screen for Robinson. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Defense was expecting run, and they're dealt a pass of over 15 yards.
And this pass rush has really been bringing the heat and has already gotten home a few times here in the first half. So how about the play call there? Sometimes if you can't protect, you've got to fool them. Screen passes like that can take a little steam out of what's been a relentless rush so far.
On 1st down, he'll drop to throw. He'll get this into the hands of Hodge. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8. 2nd and 2. Now a 2nd and 2. Throwing again, Penix. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson. Now the Falcons going to use one of their timeouts as the clock shows 50 seconds to play here in half number 1. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18. Operating from the gun, Penix. Over the middle, that's caught by McLeod. The Falcons going to use the 2nd of their timeouts. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. They'll throw with Penix. Throw over the middle, going to be caught here by Pitts. Short completion, just 4 yards. And that's going to make it 3rd down and less than a yard. To the air, Penix checks this one down to Robinson. And offensively, they'll take the timeout with 6 seconds left in the 2nd quarter. Patterson's kick is good. So a long drive gets him down inside the 5, but ultimately they settle for just the field goal.
And I have to think that if maybe they were a yard closer, that would have made their decision tougher, and I think they likely would have gone for it. But in this situation, they just decided to take the 3, and I think it was a smart move.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And they'll have time for 1 play. That's it. 3 seconds to go before intermission. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. So we've come to halftime at a 5-point game, as we send you down to Orlando, where Jonathan Coachman has our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, we'll get back to you two in a bit. For now, plenty of early game action around the NFL to get you caught up on, so let's get to it. We'll begin across the Atlantic at venerable Wembley Stadium in London, where it was the Jaguars who pick up the win at home. Mac Jones, terrific in the air with over 400 passing yards there.
Okay, Coach, yeah, adjustments likely going to play a big role in this third quarter in what's been a tight contest so far. And they'll start this drive just across the 30. Pretty nice work on the return. The Falcons offense and Michael Penix set to take over once more. And he had it going in the first half, that's for sure. He's really had his way with his secondary. They've been powerless to stop him, and he'll look to keep it rolling right here. Second half begins with a run by Robinson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Looking to throw, Penix. Over the middle, caught by London.
Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and that'll make it second down.
Brings up 2nd and 4 at their 49-yard line.
They'll go play action here with Penix. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up third down. And looking to throw, Penix.
Flushed out right. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. 5 yards on the scramble, and that's enough to pick up the first. Slot man moves right.
A play fake. Now Penix.
Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense.
Boye Mafe picks up his second sack of the afternoon. It has been a rough afternoon for him trying to get rid of the football. See, that's now 5 sacks.
How'd you like to be the offensive coordinator, the offensive line coach trying to come up with an answer for this pass rush? What blocking assignments do you change? Can guys play a little bit better? And we're seeing the end result on the scoreboard. Long day in the pocket for their quarterback.
And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. 7th play in this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. He'll drop to throw. Can't get away, and he's taken down. He could not get away that time, and it'll be a loss of 11 on third down.
I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
The punt team on now as Pinion sends this one away. A call for a fair catch, and it's made at about the 23-yard line. A 40-yard punt, no return, and it'll be Seahawk football 1st and 10.
Now Smith and the Seahawks going to come up 1st and 10
at their own 24. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
And he takes us up to the 40-yard line before being corralled. 10 yards and a Seattle first down.
One of my old teammates called me the other day when he was watching the game. He's like, man, trying to watch an NFL game and trying to account for their passing game? That's difficult. And just when you think you get everything covered, here comes a back out of the backfield. And in this case, he picks up a first down.
And that's going to be incomplete.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up, converged on his man, and broke the play up.
Geno now to throw.
They'll set up a screen to Charbonnet.
And he'll be brought down just shy of midfield at the 49-yard line. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. And they'll run on 3rd down with Charbonnet.
And they needed 2. They could only get 1. 4th down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now here's Michael Dixon as he's on to punt for Seattle. And that is very well done there, as this will be marked out of bounds at the 5-yard line.
The Falcons offense set to go.
And our game's hit a little bit of a lull here, a little bit of a snag. Punts on back-to-back drives.
And old school coaches don't necessarily mind that. Didn't turn it over, right? Didn't create a big play for the other team. Right now what you're looking for is, can you gain an advantage in field position? And that's what both teams are seeking right now.
Yeah, they'll be seeking to gain that advantage here on this drive.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson.
And a short gain here as he gets it up only to about the 6. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
A 3rd down now. Those last 2 plays indicative of how things have gone for them. Just nowhere to go on the ground and struggling to put up points. A throw left sideline falls incomplete.
You get the sense that they're saying we're not playing up to what we're capable of, and we're deep enough into the game that the early jitters are long gone, that they should now have some sense of continuity and be able to make some of these plays that they have not been doing so far.
We'll call that a 43-yard punt, 2 on the return. And this offense takes over in great shape right at the 50, 1st and 10. Good starting field position here for the Seahawks as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. Play action. It's Smith. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time.
Picked off by A.J. Terrell. And the Falcons are going to take over once again at their own 37-yard line.
Oh, timing is everything on a route like this. He tried to drive that football into a tight spot. And if you're a little early or a little late, chances are there's going to be someone there. And sure enough, this one's going the other way.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys are tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments.
Boye Mafe
able to record his 5th sack of the season. Back to throw.
Oh, that'll be incomplete. Well, he took a shot as he let that go. And it's going to bring up a 3rd down.
He'll look to throw. And he fires one, but incomplete.
Well, this is just a continuation of what we saw in the first half. So much for the fresh start to begin the 3rd quarter. Still off-target throws, no rhythm throwing the football, and obviously no touchdown scored in this game.
On 4th down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And out will come the offense as they take over. The Seattle now ready to march out of the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start to warm up a little bit over on the sideline?
Smith, an incomplete pass on 1st down. Now it's 2nd and 10. Now Geno.
And this a quick slant to Lockett.
That'll leave them with a 3rd and 2 coming up. They got 8 yards there.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield. for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and get the quarterback a really nice target. And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
McLeod to return it. It'll be a 44-yard punt, 6 on the return.
And it will be Falcon football.
Atlanta now coming out on the field.
See if they can put this drive in the end zone, Charles, because it's been a little bit of a rough go at times. They've had to punt the football a ton in this ball game because of stalled-out drives.
So are you saying that you're kind of tired of seeing the punter run out there and do his thing during this game? Is that what you're trying to say?
Well, I mean, I'm okay with it. I have a feeling that this offense, they don't want to see the punter again.
And frankly, the punter doesn't want to run out there anymore himself. He would love to see his offense put together a drive and give his leg a rest.
Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6.
They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains.
On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw.
He had a man open, but he missed him, and it's incomplete.
Well, we're into the second half now, and this is an offense that continues to struggle to sustain a drive.
Looks like they're just totally out of sync, whether they're running the ball, passing the ball like we saw there. I don't know. The rhythm seems off. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That'll be a 41-yard punt, 4 yards there on the return.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over.
Seattle now ready to march out of the field.
Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5.
Ball on the 35. Here comes 2nd and 5. Charbonnet once again.
He's got some breathing room. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
44 yards rushing for him now as he's carried it 13 times.
Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle. Just
blitz coming, and down he goes. Grady Jarrett making his presence felt. He gets the sack.
Remember, they had the nice gain on the previous play, but they just gave a lot of it back right there on that sack.
Yeah, they give the sack, get back some real estate. Felt like the type of play that can spark a defense and swing some momentum. Almost felt like a take that type of a play, didn't it, partner?
9 yards on the pickup that time, so he got more than half of it back, but it's still a 3rd and 8. And as they come to the line, they will not be able to get off another play as time has run out on this 3rd quarter. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now here on EA Sports. It's the Seahawks with the possession. They also have the lead here as we get set for the 4th and final quarter. Throwing now is Geno. Now they set up the screen. That's complete. And that's going to be good for another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 22-yard line. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this second half. Here's 1st and 10. To throw is Smith.
And this one too low.
Then their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
And that's to the left sideline and incomplete.
What would look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
He'll wind up getting 4 yards there on his own, but it also brings up 4th down.
Like any team playing, they're looking for touchdowns to try and help their cause. But in this case, he does get them a little closer at least if they think a field goal turns out to be the better call here.
So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. This to put him a touchdown and a 2-point conversion up. Myers' kick is good, and that'll push the lead up to 8. But from a defensive perspective, though, I think maybe they're saying, hey, we did what we needed to do, kept this a 1-score game.
Yeah, without a doubt, because they were able to bleed some time off the clock, right? Put themselves in a good position, but it's not out of reach yet, okay? Being able to hold them to a field goal means that they do have a chance to come back and win this game.
And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. Well, the Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive. And they have had their problems moving the ball through the air as we take you through some of the action from earlier. This secondary has played about as well as you can. Many times they've left this quarterback with nowhere to go with the football. About set to begin their next drive, the Falcons offense at the line. And remember, despite giving up the field goal, this is still a 1-score game. They're in need of the touchdown and a 2-point conversion. A field goal on this drive likely doesn't do them much good. And just 3 yards on the catch there. He couldn't get away. And that will bring up 2nd down. They'll drop to throw. Throws right back to London, complete again. And he's able to get this one out closer to midfield across the 45. Now Penix. That's to the sideline and incomplete.
We've got to give out a little applause on that play. It has to go to the defense. More good work by them. They've taken away the passing lanes all game long, and you can see the frustration that it's causing because he just about threw that one into the first row.
And he'll do a nice job here just to fight his way back to the line of scrimmage. Calling no gain on the run there, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd down.
3rd down and 10. Here's Penix. Pass taken in by his big tight end. Touchdown, Falcons! Kyle Pitts, 53 yards. And the Falcons have a chance to tie things up as they trail by 2 here in the 4th. When they drew that up, I don't think they envisioned it ending in a house call, but he got it and took it all the way home.
Really impressive run after the catch, wasn't it? That was really special by him. But let's face it, in today's NFL, those tight ends are often former wide receivers or maybe even sometimes bigger running backs. They just put them in a position to get a great matchup and make plays like that.
Now they send a man in motion right. They're going to try and run for it, but he is not going to make it. It's a big play by the defense, and they're going to hold on to their 2-point lead. And the failure to convert and tie the game, now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
Now Pinion with the kickoff honors following the touchdown. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The Seahawks offense and Geno Smith headed back out for this next possession. And it's been a struggle for him all afternoon. This defense has really done a nice job of making him earn everything he gets, and it's prevented him from getting into any kind of rhythm here today. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway.
That last touchdown has made this really tight. They're clinging now to this slim lead. Second half, they only have a field goal. This offense needs to kick it into gear.
And right now, I'm looking directly at the field general, at the quarterback. This, to me, he's got to take over right now. By word, pumping his team up, and then, of course, by deed with his play. My high school coach used to say that all the time. Laddie, take over by word and deed.
And deed means action.
Exactly.
The Seahawks on third down. They're hitting it just 30%, 3 for 10. This will be 3rd and 5. Throwing is Smith. Now they go screen. It's complete. Breaks through the contact. And he goes out of bounds just shy of the 45. First down, Seattle, 16 yards the gain there.
And that pickup of a first down, that's going to leave a mark because they really needed to stop them there, didn't they?
Oh, so frustrating. Defensively, you're a play away from getting that football back here down late. Tough.
Now they've got to find a way to create a turnover or takeaway. Otherwise, this one will probably get away from them.
They'll fake it. Now Smith. He's going to flip that out to the flat. It's complete. And he is going to lose yardage here. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
On the give, here's Charbonnet.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line.
62 yards rushing for him now in the ball game. Here's 3rd and 9.
Smith. This one into the hands of Metcalf. And that's going to be good for another first down as the tackle's made at the Falcons' 45-yard line. A nice pickup there, 10 yards. From Falcon territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. From the gun, here's Smith.
Outright to Smith and Jigba.
Give him a gain of 5 on the completion, and it'll be 2nd down. Now Smith. This is Fant on the short completion, and he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1. They'll look to make it 3 for 3 on 3rd down conversions. They need a yard here.
Able to find the open man. That's complete. And he is going to have a Seahawks first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
A little football 101 there. You just see the receiver try to run down the defender, meaning he goes right at him and really trying to move him a little bit towards the center of the field so he can put his foot in the ground and break to the out, to the sideline, and make a catch.
He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. An ideal spot here to get a first down and try to run some more clock, and this is 2nd and less than a yard. Here's Smith. Left side here, that's the tight end Fant. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. Now they'll have it 1st and goal following that gain of 17.
It's all pretty simple sometimes, isn't it? Go where the defenders are not, and he does exactly that. Makes a nice catch to move the chains. Defense, got to find a better way of accounting for the shorter routes that are being run against them.
Charbonnet is not going to advance very far. He'll be stopped right at the line of scrimmage.
They'll say no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd and goal. Now Smith.
Toward the pylon, but it's incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
Now Smith on 3rd and goal.
And this will be caught by Metcalf for a Seahawk touchdown.
A great effort there with his 2nd touchdown of the game, number 8 on the season.
And the Seahawks will add to their 4th quarter lead. So a heck of a drive right there with the game potentially hanging in the balance.
A very good drive, and now conversion to make it a 2-score game and a solid lead.
Now an important extra point here to maybe salt this one away. And that makes it a 9-point game. That one was an extended drive, 14 plays all told.
And it's DK Metcalf who finishes things off with a touchdown reception.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. Oh, a dangerous return man showing it here.
And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Atlanta prepped and ready for its next possession. And you figure after giving up that last touchdown, they trail by 2 scores here in the fourth quarter. This drive becomes very critical. They'll throw with Penix.
Got an open man. It's McLeod. This will be stopped about 2 yards shy of the marker. 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2.
That's to the former Bear, Darnell Mooney. And looking to throw, Penix. Throw out wide is incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
This pass is caught by London.
And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. Drake London, 52 yards.
And the Falcons have made it a one-score game again here in the fourth.
So that's a really big play here in the fourth quarter. And don't look now. They're right back in this game.
Did it feel to you, as it did to me, that maybe they were a little bit soft in what they were lining up with on defense? Almost like they were protecting the lead rather than trying to make a play.
And now that lead is down to just 1 score.
Extra point by Patterson, up and good.
And now things get a bit more interesting here in this fourth quarter. And following the touchdown now, it's Bradley Pinion on to kick this one away.
And able to take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. The Seahawks offense and their quarterback set to take the field once more. And as we show you some of the highlights from earlier, he has been instrumental in getting his guys the lead as he looks to finish strong and close this one out.
Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense.
This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Another run on second down, trying to cover up.
And now we'll see a timeout used on defense as they stop it right out of the break with 1:57 to go in the ballgame. This is a big third down, and you'd have to think we'd see a timeout right away if they can't stop him here. Now Smith. He lets it fly for Lockett.
That is intercepted. Picked up by Richie Grant. And the Falcons are going to take possession as they've got it at the 42-yard line. Oh my, how the tables have turned now. They were trying to salt this one away, but that interception, potentially a game changer.
And I just got to think to myself, at this point of the game, I know you've been aggressive. I know that's your MO, and that's fine. And all those teams that talk about all gas, no brakes, you better have the emergency lever to pull occasionally. They could have used it right there. They put themselves in a tough spot with that interception.
So all eyes on the Falcons. Down by 2. A little under 1:50 remaining. How costly of an interception will that be? It's time to find out. 1st and 10. They'll look to throw. Over the middle, that's caught by McLeod.
But they picked up a little bit of yardage there, and now, in this situation, should be in no hurry to run a play really fast. Let the clock wind down.
Steps away to his left.
Plenty of time and 2 timeouts still at their disposal. 1st and 10 here. He's going to drop this underneath for Robinson.
And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on second down. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll get it with just a shade under a minute to go in the game.
They come up now on 2nd and 2. Hand off to Robinson out of the shotgun.
And they'll be inside the 35 now at the 34-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Short throw caught by Pitts.
Now the Seahawks call the second of their 3 timeouts. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. Back to throw.
Here's a screen for Robinson. And he's going to get out of bounds with the first down. So an ideal set of circumstances there. They move the chains, and they save that final timeout. Back to the ground with Robinson.
And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And as the 2 teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
Robinson will struggle to get to the line of scrimmage as he'll be tackled back at the 4-yard line.
Well, they would have loved to have scored a touchdown there, but this still sets them up for a game-winning field goal attempt.
At the Seahawks 4-yard line.
Now here's a timeout, as they will indeed call it with 5 seconds to go and a chance with a field goal to win the game.
Every eye in the stadium locked in on Riley Patterson.
He's hit 3 times already, and this for the win. And his kick is indeed good, and it's celebration time on that sideline as they have taken the lead in the final seconds. So there was a little meat on that bone, a little more than a chip shot considering the circumstances, but he's able to bang it home in what should be the game winner.
And the key was getting him into a good position to kick from. I mean, if that's a 52-yarder, you're going to have some anxious moments, but kickers nowadays, you give them anything under 40, and they're automatic.
And it's incomplete, so their final drive comes up empty, and with that, the ball game is over.
A fun, close ball game comes to an end. On that last play, Charles, they were on the wrong side of midfield. They needed something near a miracle, and they couldn't get it done.
Yeah, the effort, that was good. Very good, in fact. They were just a little too far out to get a decent look at the end zone for that last opportunity. Couldn't get it done, but a nice game overall.
So for the Falcons, they fall a game under 500 now at 3 up and 4 down. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Meanwhile, for Seattle, things are definitely going south quickly as they fall now to 1-6. And they'll get a chance to redeem themselves at home next week.